Along with the matte medium page, I want to add some images. So we've already done the writing with the matte medium color, and you've added a border with your line, whichever kind of border you wanted. Now we're going to add some imaging. What I would like you to do is think about what type of images you want to add. We're going to do something similar to this. This was done on a separate piece of paper. It's an ink pen drawing, your mixed media pen. And then this had watercolor pencil, but we're just going to use regular watercolor, and then it was glued onto the page. This one was also done the same way. The images you use don't need to be complicated. You could also think about clip art is a great place, if you just Google it, to look for simple images that you can include. You could also include words, and I've started with the word create. If you recall, we did the large letters that are still in your own handwriting that we did in the early part of the semester. That would be a way to incorporate words into this page using your own writing, and you could make it as big as you wanted to. So I started with the writing in pencil. Remember to do it lightly. Then I use my pen that I'm using for class because it's waterproof. After that, you're going to erase the lines and then add watercolor and cut it out. You would do the same thing with any images. I have some examples that I have done. Some different things you might think about. I just did some sketchier designs. So I have like a really sketchy flower, or I kind of drew this mug. If you like to do that type of thing and want to add some ink shading with like your lines or the cross hatching, this would be a great place to incorporate that. Or if you're not super comfortable with that, think about some other things you could do. In fundamentals, most of the classes did some type of ribbons. You can do speech bubbles for something, or just a simple design. We have lots of books to look at if you would like. That would also be another option. For the watercolor portion, you're going to grab your watercolors, and then we also have water. And I would grab a paper towel as well. We have some different size watercolor brushes, so find one that fits what you're going to do. The important thing is to not use too much water, because this is not a watercolor paper. It's just a cardstock. It's a great, or an index card, a big one. So if we use just a little bit of water, this will work okay, and the paper won't buckle, so it won't absorb all that water. You'll want to get your paints wet first, so just dab a little bit of water in there and let it sit for a minute. It'll absorb the water and become a little bit more concentrated, which would work well for this. I've already done that, so this paint should be ready to go. So I'm going to blot out this little bit of water that's in there, because I want a little bit darker red for this heart. You can test it on a separate piece of paper. I have lots of scratch paper around to kind of test out to make sure that that's going to work for what you want to do. You could also mix, if you want to mix anything, you can always mix in the lid. So if you wanted to add like a little bit of orange or something like that to it, you could. Just make sure when you're done to wipe this clean for the next person. So I have that mixed up on my brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in. So I think for this, I'm just going to fill in the heart, and I'll leave the wings blank. If you wanted to add some color to the back, you can. When adding multiple colors, the key with watercolor is to let it dry. The dry time is going to help you a lot. So when I did my flower down here, I had orange in the middle and yellow